Hey, what's up, guys? When I said the KiloHearts Transient Shaper was one of the best transient designers you can get, I wasn't making that up, and I made this tweet about a month ago, and I wanted to elaborate on it in my video to-do list. So this is the Transient Shaper by KiloHearts. It is a little tiny plugin like this, but there's a lot of things going on under the hood, which I'm sure are secrets. This is a very musical sounding transient shaper. I've used the ones by SPL, one from Native Instruments, and like this other multiband one I can't think of. And this one bites every single time. It works for electronic music very well, and it's a great way to add punch to your track. So what does a transient shaper do? Basically, it's a fancy compressor. So with a compressor, like audio comes in, when it goes over the threshold, the volume will reduce. What a transient shaper or a transient designer does is when the sound starts, it will detect the beginning of the sound, whatever it is. So right here would be the transient, or maybe over here. It'll actually make that part louder as opposed to the rest of it. It's a very quick upwards expansion of sound, and that will give you something that you'd call punch or punchy. And we use this particular plugin a lot on the record that we just completed. There was a lot of, electronic stuff like 909s and things like that. That kind of got buried, and with this, they were brought to the forefront again, and very punchy, very modern, very poppy. Not poppy, but very, very cool sounding. A lot of clarity, and didn't have any problems with this one, and it makes me think, they should make a de-esser, because we tried so many de-essers and it was really finicky to get them to work. Anyway, that's a different topic. So this is the transient shaper, and we have everything set to default on this kick loop thing. All right, so this is a decent example. So we are going to add an attack, and what this will do is this will make the beginning of all these kick sounds punchier, basically. So I'll show you what that does. Right, you can see it here. You can see when it triggers, it'll light up, and that's the attack. You can make that an extreme value. You can reduce the attack a bit. So you can kind of, if there's too much attack because of the compressor you're using, or you recorded it hot using something or whatever, you can reduce the attack a little bit. Works quite well. This right here is where a lot of the money is, in my opinion. So basically, with a conventional transient shaper, you boost the attack, it becomes really loud. We're redlining, so then we have to drag the gain down here, and then we have to bring the volume down and stuff like that. So we have to compensate, and it becomes a pain. What this knob thing does is this will not affect the transient, but reduce the volume afterwards. So emphasizing the transient without increasing the level. See, down there it says so. So this is the same effect as adding that gain at the post, the transient shaper. Right, so we got punchiness and stuff like that, but we haven't messed around with the volume, which is infinitely useful. You'll keep your gain staging. You won't affect anything else really. It's all well and good. But the cool thing is you can use these both at the same time. Right? Things like that. All right, so that's a good example. Sustain will amplify it after the initial attack and pump. So with that, you can get like a pseudo kind of, I'll just show you what that does. It'll accentuate those quiet parts, which is pretty cool. It sounds pretty neat. And it's a true transient shaper. You can shape it, and it's triggered, and you'll shape it, and it's all well and good. So you can like do cool stuff like kill the attack. You can get like some sidechain stuff going on there, or like you can have like a reverb bus, and then you can have the attack there. You can get something that's akin to like a sidechain reverb, which is pretty cool. And you can also have sidechain in, which I really enjoy. And on top of all that, you can clip this. It'll clip it at 0, which you can do if you'd like, and you can adjust the speed of the transient shaping. So depending on what you're doing, if you have like a long, like a sub kick or something really snappy, you can make it fast or slow or whatnot. It's all super fun. No wrong way to go about it. The thing about it is it bites every time. It's amazing. You can do things, and it's good on claps and hi-hats and things like that, where compressing it can be a little bit tricky. Like with a conventional compressor, it can be a little tricky. With this, you just, plop it on, you pump it, things of that nature. All right, so go over here. You can use it also. Where was I? Transient shaper. You can use it on synth sounds, monophonic synth sounds, or chords if you matched up correctly. This is something that it's really difficult to do with a conventional transient shaper. I don't know what's going on, how they detect it. I don't know, but yeah. Right, so we got like an equal power kind of saw wave thing here. We can increase the pump. So we can get kind of like a sidechainy thing. Right, as opposed to which sounds pretty cool. And to top that all off, you can use something called multipass, and you can drag in your transient shaper, and we'll have dual band transient shaper. Why not? So you can have multi-band transient shaping, which is really cool for certain effects. So everything down here will be, we'll just kind of take away the attack. No, we'll just leave that. We'll pump it, or even sustain it a bit, which is pretty neat. Then we'll go over here, solo. Accentuate that top frequency, resize, and yeah. Right, and it detected that tick there, which is pretty cool. Anyway, I don't want to have this video super long, but yeah, that's just an example of little tiny under the radar plugins. Well, I wouldn't say they're under the radar, but like you wouldn't think that it would be like like a Celine Dion record type transient shaper, but it really is. Like it's kind of one of those secret weapons, I guess, just because of its versatility and thinking outside the box and things like that. Anyway, that is the end of me gushing. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned stuff. Take care and have a good one.